Hi, welcome to Pro Skill Drills. I'm Dominic. Today you're going to discover how your game fares against your desire to be a real challenger, a competitor, even a pro. Each of the Pro Skill Drills is designed to take you from the very level that you're playing at now and enhance your skill level to focus and concentrate, to work the drills right from the first ball through the very final ball with the ability to complete and finish well. We have a theory. We believe that if you can do the drills 7 out of 10 times, you have a 70% factor of beating at least 7 out of 10 people that come across you in the pool hall. Now, as you work through your Pro Skill Drills book, you're going to easily see the very top section is providing for you the diagram of the table just as it should be set up to begin the drill. In the bottom, we're going to give you clear, specific, and easy to understand instructions on just how to operate through the drill. However, watching the program now, you're going to actually see the drills being done for you. Time to get started. You got your equipment. Watch the drills closely, and then get to work. Don't give up easy. Here we go.
The first wheel drill that we're going to look at is called straight in stop shots. Now this drill will perfect your long straight in shots and your stop English shots from all the critical points that are on the table. Line up 9 balls along the center row. We'll call that diamond A at the side pocket, and start with ball in hand and set it up, and then you're going to just shoot a straight in stop shot. Make the cue ball stop perfectly right on the spot. That's it. And the 2 straight in. And set it up again here for the 3 ball. You notice I'm on the first diamond right behind the side pocket. I'm going to call that line 1. The 3 ball right in the corner. Notice the cue ball just stopping perfectly. Next, we're going to set up the same 9 balls. This time, move the cue ball back a full diamond. We're going to call that line 2. And that's it. See, perfect shot right in. And stop. And then back it up. Ball in hand. Set them back up again. You'll go through the entire line. Make half the balls in the top right-hand pocket. Make the other half in the top left-hand pocket. So your right and left-hand pocket will each handle half the balls. Now you've moved back to the 3rd line, and you're setting it up. Work all the balls across. Move back to the 4th line. Set it up all the way across. Now what we have is you're going to actually hit that shot from right on the rail, and then hit the same shot from 2 inches off the rail. Now notice what's happened here is that the balls have now moved away 1 full line. Technically we'll call this diamond B. You make half the balls in half the side of the table, the other half on the other, and then after you have finished making the full line of 8 balls, put the cue ball back to the 2nd line, then move it back to the 3rd line, just as in that shot you just saw. Finally, you're going to move the balls down 1 more full diamond. You're at diamond C. Starting again at line 1, make the first ball stop English on the spot. Reset them all up again. Make the next shot right there from line number 2. Strike the ball in. Get the cue ball to stop perfectly in position for you. That's it. And then, of course, you're going to move back to line 3. Making the same. Notice that the balls have moved down to diamond row D. And this particular drill, by the time you've finished it, you've made 180 balls, and it's probably going to take you a good 2 to 2.5 hours. Each of these shots, do come up in the course of a game. Long straight-in shots are just a critical shot to have in your arsenal. Notice this one here right along the rail, back from the 3rd line and diamond D. This is a long straight-in shot. Make the cue ball stop. Sometimes you're going to get the cue ball right in the jaw, And again, you're working on the rail, working 2 inches off the rail. In this case here, you're going to hit that shot dead on. Next, we're going to move on to the next drill called roll with the punches, drill number 2. This drill perfects your long straight-in shots using top English. And you're going to bring the cue ball to stop at critical points of control. You're going to use the same alignment process. 9 balls across the center row. When you move them down, drop the middle ball. When you move it down for 2 more balls. Because when you get to the long angle from the furthest line, line 3, line 4, both on the rail and slightly off the rail, you're going to need the angle, and so the center balls, really, you're not capable of making them perfectly straight in. Notice in this case here, we've got the cue ball coming down to diamond row D. Here we've got the cue ball back on the rail on line 4. We're all the way back. We're going to take that 4 ball. We're going to follow it all the way up, come right to rest there on the bottom rail perfectly. From this case here, you take the 5 ball. You're all the way in the jaw of the pocket, moving straight up. In each case, you want the diamond. You want to stop the cue ball on diamond row A, B, C, D, and E. And moving on to the next drill, we're looking at walking the line. This is a great warm-up drill. If you're ever in a pinch, you just need to get warmed up, get the feel of the table, the feel of the cloth. Just line up all the balls evenly spaced all the way across the center of the table. You start with ball in hand. You can start on either side of the table. And in this drill, you can make any ball in any pocket. The key is avoid hitting any of the other balls on each shot. Tim's got a good sight on the 4 ball there. Again, pulling it right back. Again, the real key to keep in mind here is you want to be avoiding hitting any other balls in the process. And of course, if you miss a shot, if you hit another ball in passing, that's your cue to reset it and just start the drill over again. In a practice session, you might want to say, I want to complete this drill 10 times. You might have to set it up 20, 25 times until you get 10 of them in a row altogether. That's fine. In either case, you just complete that drill successively. We're moving on to the next drill, and this is called high roller. Now, the table's going to look pretty much set up the same way that it did for walking the line. Again, the balls are in any particular order on the table. It doesn't require that you have a specific order of balls. We just have them set up alternating stripes and solid for the sake of it looks good on the camera. But what we're doing here, notice how Tim has passed forward using a forward roll, coming up the opposite side. What you're doing here is making absolutely sure that when you pocket a ball, you roll the cue ball forward to set up the next shot. So you're continually using your top roll, coming through the 11 ball here. Going to go straight through. Next, we're setting up on that 5 ball. He's going to walk straight through, come up and be set up on the 13 right in the side right there after it. Set your minimum benchmark for being able to do this 5 times successfully. And your ultimate benchmark, as we have built in our theory of evaluating skill level, is your goal is to do it 10 times in your practice session. 10 times in a row is ultimately going to give you the greatest degree of success control in determining where you fit into the overall level of competitor players. And the final ball straight up and bringing it through beautifully. Our next drill here called the straight shooter. This is a fun one. You can have some fun with people doing this one because so few people realize how easily they get out of line. Go ahead and line up 7 balls on your long rail. Place the first ball right there on the spot. And then put the cue ball right in line with it. Ball in hand to start. And go ahead using a draw stroke. Shoot the first ball right into the corner pocket. Draw it back. Set up the next ball. Shoot it in. draw it back. Now Tim, as he's setting up the third ball right there and drawing it back, keeping the cue ball in line. Now from where the cue ball stopped, after that first, second, third, each pocketed ball, don't touch the cue ball after you've set it up the first time with ball in hand. You have to continue to shoot from where you leave it. Even in a situation like this where we've kind of jammed it up on the 5 a little bit, we just lift that stick, hit it quick, pull it back a few inches, get it set right on line for the 6 ball. Here you're having to make the 6 and then moving on to the 7. 7 balls is pretty sufficient to really see that you've got the ability to keep your cue ball in line. Give that a try. You're going to have a great deal of fun with that. We're moving on to a really great drill here. It's kind of a cute name. We call it peekaboo. It's a very tough drill. You're lining up 5 balls on each of the long rails. Place the rack in the middle at the head spot. Place 1 ball on each side of the rack on the left and the right. And then go ahead and make that 1 ball. Move the 3 into position as you get ready to set up to make the 2 ball. And then shoot that 2 in. And pull back perfectly in position to make the 3. Now you're going to continue to pull these balls off the rack, one right after the other. You set up the 4. You move into position. Work on that 3 ball. Pull that cue right back into position. Now you're alternating back and forth from the 1, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're setting up each time. If you hit the rack, you start over. If you can't get in line, you get out of line, you start over. You don't want to drive the cue ball to the rail either. You want to just be able to control tight positions. This drill will perfect your short to medium range straight back draw stroke. When you're in a real tight situation, you have to be perfectly right on a pinpoint position. Many times you got to get between 2 other balls for your next shot. You can see how perfectly you got to get back in shape here. Working on the 6. You're watching this in real time. This drill is one that truly challenges your skill level. Putting the 6 straight in. We're going to draw right back on the 7. And as you can see, there's just a few left. Now from where the cue ball stops, after you've pocketed each ball, again, continue to make each ball successively right into the corner. If you get out of line, if you miss, if you hit the rack, if you hit the rail, you want to go ahead and be patient. Set up each of the balls on each side, 5 on each side, and do it again. In this case here, we're on our 8 ball. Pulling back perfectly. This table that we're shooting on is a beautiful Brunswick diamond table, and it plays absolutely marvelously. You can see the Simonis cloth is giving us the best performance here on the 9 ball, pulling it right back in position. As you can see, we got a perfect dead-end shot on the 10. This drill will definitely keep you working. And we're set to go. Isn't that beautiful? This next drill is a real champion drill.
Did you see what I was starting to do?
I know we're screaming. We're pretty excited there. You can. I'll tell you what, when we accomplished that drill, there was no question about it. We were pretty happy. This next drill called Diamonds on the Line. This is beautiful. This drill perfects your ability to carom off the object ball you're making to pinpoint precise measurements on the table. If you have your copy of Pro Skill Drills, you can easily see that we're covering every single diamond point that you want to be able to control that ball to. For viewing right here on the television, what I'm showing you is how we bring it back to the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and here right to the 4th position. We're just following the straight line. And next we're going on into a really great drill. We're going to start going into the napkin drills. This drill here we call soft landing. This drill will develop your feel for getting the cue ball right back to the center of the table. How critical it is to be able to play from the center of the table so often. And this drill will really put you through the paces of making sure from every possible way to work the rails, you're coming back into position. So put 6 balls on the table, 1 in front of each pocket. Put the napkin out in the middle of the table, just an average size. And then start with ball in hand for each shot. You pocket the balls in order, and then make the cue ball land on the napkin each single time. Of course, you start with ball in hand. You can even get a little creative if you like with this drill. You can have someone else place the cue ball for you into different positions, and but still none the same. You want to land right back on the napkin, coming in off the side pocket here with the 8 ball. This is a really great challenge to work this way, coming in off of 2 rails. Of course, you could just practice even drawing it straight onto the napkin and coming right into your 9 ball, right up 1 single rail, stopping there. This drill really develops your feel for getting the cue ball back to the center of the table. Another napkin drill, using your napkin, we call this. This drill develops, again, more speed control for getting the cue ball to short and mid and long range table positions. Now here we're making the 1, the 2, and the 3 ball in the same pocket. And at this time, we really want to get a little bit more precise. We want to make the cue ball come to rest in the napkin 5 times in a row. For ball number 2, going to the center napkin 5 times in a row. And then for ball number 3, 5 times in a row. And do the same thing here, shooting the cut shot into other pockets and continuing to land on each of those specific napkins. So sometimes you're going to be moving forward, and sometimes you'll be coming backwards, as is the case here in the using your napkin 2 drill. As you can see, the ball positions, instead of going forward and coming off rails as we did the first time, now instead of going forward, we're now going to be looking for coming back into the bottom rail, into the back long rail. Right here we are at the head, 2 rails, taking the 2 ball right to the center napkin. That's perfect. And then, of course, setting up the 3. Once again, 5 times in a row. Each time, develop your ability to get perfect into position. And you can see that's going to stop right there, as it has so many times, right on the napkin. We've got another napkin drill for you. We call napkin spot shots. And this drill really develops your speed control for getting the long cue ball roll table positions. And you'll watch what happens here as we're working a spot shot. And we're going to take 2 rails coming all the way down to that far opposite side. Get that napkin to stop right. There we go. Get the cue ball right on the napkin. Now just altering the position of English on the cue ball, going a little deeper into the corner, and we're coming up on the second napkin and stopping. Once again, when you work on each one, work on 5 times, then move to the next. Don't just try and successively go to napkin 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but work on napkin 1. Work on it continuously and repeatedly. Spend an hour with it. Work on it until you can get to the point where it's entirely possible and realistic that you're putting it on the napkin 5 times, even especially working on the path, the cue ball path, as you can see right here, with a real straight English and coming right back on napkin number 5. Next, we're coming up to the center ring. Center ring is the drill that will perfect your position and your precision for remaining right there in the center of the table. You got the balls in a nice round circle. Place all 15 balls all the way around. And it's very important you do not roll outside of that imaginary circle. Stay right inside, as you'll see what's going to happen here with this drill. What's happening here with this drill, we're What's really happening is you cause yourself to walk around the table a lot. And this, you know, is one of the things that can certainly get you in trouble, being a little bit too much in a hurry and not hiking around the table enough times to really decide that's the right shot. I see that Tim's got his eye on that 15 ball. He's going to fire it down into the corner. He's leaving that 6 in the side for a case he needs a hanger to keep in shape. But what I do see here is you see how he's setting up that 6, and it's going to leave him perfectly in line for the 12 in the corner, which is what you'd have to do. You're still staying inside the circle. You're not actually pulling the cue ball to the center of the table after every shot. You're staying inside of the circle, which means you could theoretically be right parallel to one of the balls that you're making. Like, here we go. This is the 6 ball inside. You should stop this one cold. And you see he's put a ever so slight angle to make this ball up into the corner and then nudge the cue ball back over to the center more. Perfectly. He's coming in off this 3 ball. Not sure. He doesn't want to fight with it. He can see what's going to happen. Instead, he takes the 9 right there, cross corner, keeps perfect position inside the circle, and this is going to give him a much better position. That 3 ball was going to really throw him out hard. Probably would have never had an opportunity to have enough distance to get back behind the 9 from any of the other shots. Here he sees what's happening. You can see the final pattern here, which is going to work out quite beautifully. He's going to use a little bit of an inside draw. You're going to find out that you've worked so hard on the first 12 balls, and it's going to happen to you. You're going to be down to the last 1 or 2, and you're going to dog it, and oh man, you've got to set it all up and start all over again. And how many times that has happened to all of us. In this case, you really start to become very, very conscious of finishing well. That's one of the beautiful things about a drill like this. It causes you to exercise your concentration and focus skills. And that's the center ring. Successful, and you'll have a great deal of fun doing that. We're moving on to the picket fence. This is a bit like the L drill you've ever seen in the past. We do this quite differently, though, because we really need to take this drill and stretch it further and really put it into a 2-level bracket. First of all, we're going to put 5 object balls, as outlined above, in what we're going to call the Diamond A row. Now, you set the cue ball in position to cut the first ball in. You're making position on the next ball so as to make then position on the third, and you continue this positioning as the cue ball it continues to move. It makes its way around the small picket fence, again, without missing. Then what's going to happen is you're going to set up 9 balls. And we're going to put these in the outer perimeter in Diamond B. So after you've had a chance to make these first 5 on the inner row, you're then going to come through and lay 9 around and set them up and continue working around this. Now, in level 1, you want to make the object balls in each of the fence lines, fence A and fence B. You can make them in any order without missing. But level 2 is where you want to make the object balls on each fence in their successive order without missing. One of the exciting things about having pro skill drills at your disposal is you're no longer frustrated or bored with just walking to the table and just wanting to bang some balls and try to feel warmed up and then maybe only hope that some competition is the only thing that's going to help you feel stimulated to play. You become your greatest competitor. You become your biggest challenge. Can you do this drill 10 times in a row without missing? And do you have the stamina to stay at the table to get it done 10 times in a row without missing? And that's it. That is the picket fence. This next drill, called one-sided, this is very similar to the earlier drills that we looked at, where the balls are lined up, evenly spaced. We looked at high roller. We looked at walking the line. Once again, a very different type of a drill that operates here. We set up the balls. However, the drill being called one-sided, this drill perfects your ability to keep your play moving from one direction. This is an excellent drill for working your one pocket game, where you have that one pocket and you've got to fire in the 2 or 3 open balls, and you can work on that. Remember, if you hit another ball, if you miss, if you get out of line, that's your cue to start over again and set them back up. Be patient, work it through, set it back up, and continue. Again, in a workout session, try to make this drill happen 10 times so that you are, try to make this drill happen 10 times so that you can't possibly make it without missing. And you're going to see your ability to succeed over that level of players in the hall. Oh, this is a great drill, the wing. You're going to love the wing. You start with ball in hand from any point in the table. You set up a wing. You set up an imaginary line. You stay inside the entire time. You make any ball at level 1. You make any ball in any pocket, any of the 3 pockets on the opposite side of the table. Now you may, just as Tim has done here in this drill, you may start with the bottom ball and go ahead and move yourself right up the line. When you find you're out of line, you're going to have to use one of the other balls that is more straight in line to recover. Level 1 is to make any ball in any order. Level 2 is to make the balls successively in order all the way around the wing. You start at one end and you work your way all the way around to the opposite end. This drill perfects your speed control and especially your complex position planning. Okay, we're down. Now again, once again, you get down to the last 4 or 5 balls, and that's when you really got to tighten up. You've been working hard up to this point. This is not the time to lock one in the jaw. You want to be absolutely certain your concentration and your focus is highly toned. And you know how many times you're in a 9-ball game, you get right down, and sure enough, you leave the 8 or the 9 hanging. The other guy only has to, you've done all the work, he has to make 1 or 2 balls, and he's the winner. And that really is something that you work out well with these drills. Notice we're going to be able to put this 5 in the side. Watch what we have to do to get down in position. This is great. And we're going to stay inside. Now remember, you've got to stay inside the wing. The wing extends from corner pocket to the center pocket. You can't go outside and come back in either. That's exactly right. So bank it and take it to the bank, and that's what's going to work. Next, we move on to a great drill called inside the small box. This is a fascinating little drill. This drill perfects your position play. Very tight precision for short range, draw strokes, stop shots. What you're going to do here is you're going to set up 8 balls in a square box using the inside diamonds. Put the cue ball in the middle, and do not let the cue ball roll outside the line of the box. You make that imaginary line and you stick to it. Now you can be on the line, but you can't be outside the line. If you roll outside the box, if you hit another ball, if you miss, well, you know what to do. You start over. Once again, this gives you a great opportunity to have to hike around the table, to really take time, look at every shot, and of course, every time you make one, as we make this 7 ball, you create a greater sense of need to concentrate on what is your final position going to be. Now here we're considering whether we should put the 4 in the side, should we put the 8 in the corner, what are we going to pull back to? In this case here, going for the 8, coming back, setting up for the 5 in the corner. Take your time, don't rush, don't assume any shot is an automatic. Pull yourself right back in position. Notice exactly what's going to happen. He's almost right back at the point he started with at the very beginning of the drill. He was moving in the opposite direction. Now this time he's coming back. He's in perfect position. Just simply laid that ball in the side pocket. Stop the cue ball right where he needed it. Go ahead, take this 4 ball, push it down in the corner, bring the cue ball back. Again, notice he's staying inside the box. You could still imagine that box. Now that we've made the final ball, you've done this 10 times in a row, you feel pretty good. Guess what we do next? Exactly. We move to inside the spot box. What we've done, we've extended the box here a full diamond. We've gone to the head string, and we've gone to the breaking spot, and we've set up, in this particular case, 12 balls. Cue ball in hand. You can start from anywhere on the table. It doesn't have to be in the dead center middle of the table. Also, in this particular drill, there is no specific pattern that you always have to make certain balls in a certain order. The goal of this drill is to stay inside the box, allow yourself to calculate your position. This drill again perfects your precision in putting yourself exactly where you need to be at the right spot is certainly a critical part of so many of the games we play. An 8 ball, 9 ball, 1 pocket. Especially perfect on this now. Coming right down on this 3 ball. Going to pull it back. Get right in position on the 4 ball. And even on the last ball, you stay inside the box. There we have it. Beautiful. And as though that were not enough, now we have inside the big box. And we're actually showing you how these are done because it's important just to recognize that at a pro level, as is the case in the performance of these drills, you have all 15 balls around, and the cue ball takes the 16th position. So it's automatically lined up, in this case, at the side pocket. You place all of the 15 balls on their diamond point. You make a full interior box. You have the imaginary line. You stay inside. You don't move out. A couple of times we've determined that to leave that hanger down there. We see the 8 ball hanging down there on the second diamond. We've left it. And when you get out of position, it becomes a real advantage to have it down there because it brings you back into position. There are other times, as in this case, you've got to pull out. This is the point where things can become and start to get a little bit frustrating for you. But you can bank yourself right out of it. There you have it. And that's one of the exciting things that'll happen when you never realize it. You're finding yourself drawing into every shot that's available. Not only did he have to bank once to get out of this, he had to bank twice in a row, 2 positions, in order to be in the right place to finish the last ball and still be inside the big box. What a great drill. The next drill we're looking at here is crossing over. Crossing over is the next drill. You have a level 1 and a level 2 in this particular drill. First, you'll start with ball in hand. This also is a great drill, to be sure, and give you an opportunity to get comfortable with the table. You may need to do a quick warm-up. In that particular case, just go ahead and set up the crossing over drill. Gives you a chance to feel the table. What's happening at this point is you're making any ball in any order, and that would be the level 1 drill. As you can see, Tim is clearing out one side. Level 2, which is where this drill gets extremely challenging, you make the 5 balls on the one side of the table first, and then hitting the 5th ball, you position yourself to then shoot between the gates. You see the 5 balls lining the center. Come over to the opposite side of the table, set yourself up, and clear those 5 balls first. And then, at that point, you're going to start working that center row. We'll take the 5 ball out, bring the cue down, back, right in position, take out the last 2. I remember this was a drill that somebody challenged Tim that he couldn't do 5 times in a row. And Tim said, yeah, I can. And the fellow who said, I bet you can't, he lost. And next, we have the grid. The grid, this is an exciting drill. This drill builds cue ball speed and position planning accuracy when you're just among a sea of balls. You know how often this can happen? You're just in a clustering all over the table. Everything's wide open. You know that hitting an open ball recklessly can easily cause you some real problems. Now this drill also has 2 levels. Level 1, you'd start with ball in hand from any point on the table. You make any ball in any order. As you continue to move freely through the table, you may you may certainly come off the rails. You don't want to hit another ball. Of course, you don't want to miss. Getting out of line in this particular drill is relevant. You need to be able to make a shot without striking into another ball, either with the cue or having the cue hit another ball. But level 2, which is what we're doing in this particular case, you start with ball in hand, and as you see, Tim has just finished the 2nd row. Now he's moving on to the 3rd row. In this level, you pocket each of the 3 object balls from each row, and then you move on to the next row. Back up and down, take out the 11, and then position on the 1 is automatic. Straight in, and finished. Now a variation of that is extremely good to work on is what we call 3x3. We take what was the position from the grid, and we split and alternate the line positions. You can see how we staggered the 3 rows in this particular case. The other thing we've done is we've taken the 2 end rows and we've stretched them down to the rail. So you can see from the diagram in the table, Tim has chosen to take the 14 ball out first and then the 11. But as would be the case, level 1 or level 2. Now in this case, Tim is choosing to shoot level 1. You can make any ball in any pocket of your choice. At level 2, you'd specifically want to clear each row completely before you'd move to the next row. And as you can see, it's a simple follow-up at this point to come right on to that 4 ball and finish. That's 3 by 3. The next drill we're looking at is the pickoff. This drill builds speed control and complex position planning accuracy. Now, start by placing the balls 1 through 10 on the 2 outside lines. And then in the center row, you place the 15 ball in the middle. Put the 11 and the 12 ball in front of each of the side pockets. And then, of course, the advantage, you start with ball in hand. From any point on the table is fine. Now make any ball from the 2 outside rows, that's the 1 through 10 balls, make them in the corner pocket of your choice. Now avoid hitting any of the center row balls as you're making the 2 outside rows. You can allow the cue ball to go to the rail, as you see there. Tim has dropped it down into the left-hand corner. Now he'll be taking out the 10 ball straight up into the corner to recover and get right back into position. In a level 2 situation, although you would start with ball in hand, the distinct difference in level 2 is that you want to try and pocket the balls specifically in rotation order. You'll shoot for the 1 through 10 first, and then you will take out the center row in their exact order. Now, one of the things you may have noticed here is that Tim is doing, he seems to be doing level 1 and level 2 combined. And this again is the opportunity that you can start out working to achieve level 1 or level 2 accuracy, excuse me, and then realize if you're out of position to be able to continue and proceed, just go straight to level 1. And eventually, as you work your way back into level 2, you can do so. And of course, you want to set this drill up no less than 5 times and work it. If you're going to use this single drill in a full session, then go ahead and do it at least 10 times successfully in your session. The next drill that we want to look at is the stripes grid drills. Now these are real proficiency builders for playing 8-ball. The drill will build your cue ball speed control and again continued complex planning, position accuracy. In this particular case, we set the balls up looking for playing the stripes. Tim has taken the 10 ball out. Now he's going to the 9. He'll just drive right up the side of the rail into the center. Now, as you see, he's working the stripes. The solids are working as blockers so that you have to move around them cautiously. Tim is just moving very smoothly right around the pockets in the rotation order as they're set up in the table. He's going to take that 11 ball out and pull straight through. Get right in position for the 12 ball. From there, you'll see there'll be a very dead straight shot right into the side, slightly rolling forward so that he's in perfect position to put that 8 ball in the corner. You know, in 8 ball, you're set to run out, and you need to run out. There's a great finish right there. We move into a little more complex design, the Stripes Grid 2 in your Pro Skill Drills book. Here again, you're setting up the object balls 9 through 15 in front of each of the pockets at the center of the table, just as it's outlined in your book. Here you can see it in the table. The solid balls become the object obstacles. Those are in position. as you can outline them from the grid pattern right on the table in your book. This is drill number 24. This drill is going to build your cue ball speed and control once again in complex planning accuracy. There, Tim took out the 10 ball and he's pulling back in position. Going to put the 9 into the corner. The key here again is you're moving through the table not to touch any of the other balls. It's a perfect shot in the 14, down in the corner. Now he's taking position on the 12. At least 80% of the time, if you strike a ball on the table that you did not plan, it will cause you some difficulty. Here we're avoiding that and setting up perfectly for the 8 in the corner. Now we're going to move into one more drill called Stripes Grid 3. Here we have a bit more of a complex arrangement to work from. In this case, the object balls are set up straight up the row of the table. But notice you start with the 8 ball down in the bottom and then alternate from solid stripe, as you line them up. In this place, what you'll do is you'll start with ball in hand. From the first solid ball that's next to the 8 ball, pocket each solid ball in its order, moving away from the 8 ball. And as you move up the top of the table, you'll see here how Tim is in position to take this out. And as you move up the table making the solids, you can play them in any pocket of choice. You can play them in any order, but you are working specifically to take out the solids, not touching any other ball in the line. Of course, if you hit another ball or miss, you know you reset and you work it out. Here Tim has got a perfect position now to move that 1 ball right into the corner, splitting right between the 13 and the 14 ball. But what he's done now, he's removed the solids from the table systematically. Now he'll take the 9 ball and he will work the stripe balls back down the table until he finishes with the 8 ball. Again, take the solids out, up the table, take the stripes coming back down the table, finishing off right in position for making the 8 ball. Great 8 ball drill. Great way to warm up, starting before an 8 ball match. The next drill is called the mini matrix. As we're building our skill level of moving through the table without touching any other balls, this significantly impacts your game when your intention to hit another ball is not by accident, but by very, very deliberate intention. We know that at least 8 out of every 10 times, if you hit an open ball unplanned, it'll lock you up. It'll make it difficult for you to continue to finish and running out. Place all 15 balls on the diamond points. You'll see the illustration both in your Pro Skill Drills book as well as you can see here from on the table. This drill demands you look at every shot that is possible before you settle down. You're thinking at least 3 to 4 balls ahead in this place. You're seeing the matrix unfold before you. You're moving systematically through, almost like moving through a minefield. You don't want to touch any of the other balls. If you do or if you miss, you reset it This is a great drill for really developing tight cue ball speed control and complex position planning accuracy. Right in position now for that 9 ball. Slide it into the corner, work around the table. Look at the angle here from this 10 ball to move right into position for that 9 ball. Got the perfect angle. Slide right across for the 3. This is the mini matrix. Develop your proficiency on this. Work tight, work close, and when you're ready, then we move up to the big one. We move up to the Matrix 45. You're going to have to be friends with a pool room owner or make an investment of your own, but you need 3 racks of balls to work this drill. This is a 45 ball drill. The balls are placed on all the diamond points of the table. You start with ball in hand. You pocket each ball in any pocket of your choice. We strongly suggest you pull out those corner balls first. Move those pocket balls out of the way as quickly as possible so you can work through the drill. See Tim systematically removing first the 2 corner pockets, then the side. Right down to the 5. Perfect position now for the 1. And the first order of business, he has cleared all 6 pockets. They are now free. You are going to learn the patience of hiking around the table. You can see the table here is beginning to clear. About a good 32 balls left on the table. Developing your skill in using the bridge without knocking into another ball, causing a foul. Some areas of play, such as straight pool, touching another ball unintentionally for any reason is a foul. Unlike the more lenient rules in 8 ball or 9 ball, if you may touch another ball, it's a choice of putting it back to where it was or leaving it where you may have unintentionally hit it, but the cue ball becomes the foul ball. Now here we're going to transition here, because as you can now easily grasp, this drill is one that demands your utmost of patience and attention to the details of every shot. You don't want to be 30 or 35 balls into this run and find that your cue ball accidentally bangs into another and you're forced to have to set up. Here we are looking at the out. We're just finishing up 3 last stripe balls on the table, the 7 ball moving down in the corner. We're going to come back and across a couple of times. And the out is one of great accomplishment. The Matrix 45. This drill builds your overall planning endurance, enhances your mental focusing skills, tight cue ball speed control, complex position planning accuracy, Every element of the drills, of Pro Skill drills, is summed up in the Matrix 45. This is the same drill on the cover of the book. Enjoy it. Try and get it. You'll be proud that you have. Next, we move into a very deceptive drill, the Three Stooges. This is a real challenger for one pocket players. We entitled it the Three Stooges intentionally because as you try to work this drill, you're going to be amazed as you work the complexity of it, trying to figure it out and maintain your sanity in the process so that your position planning and position play is under the utmost of control. This drill is great for one pocket players. Simply put all three balls in the corner pocket and you have succeeded. This is a doozy to try 10 times in a row, even 3 times in a row, even 3 times, period. Moving on into building our one pocket skills, we have a level 1, level 2 opportunity. This is called the railroad. Object balls 2, 4, and 6 on the short rail. Again, 1 to 2 inches off the bottom rail. Right at each diamond, you start with ball in hand, and each of the balls are made into pocket A, or in your Pro Skill Drills book, you see pocket A, or just specifically into one corner, as is being done here, and systematically make the 1, the 2, then back to the 3, down to the 4. In this case, as you're watching Tim shoot, he's already on the 5 ball. He's going to be coming right into position now for the 6. This is about the toughest place you want to get to. You might even want to work on getting inside that first diamond, but it is certainly doable. And pocket each of the balls into the corner pocket. And then finally, we're looking at another one pocket drill called clearing the aisle. This drill really will keep you out of trouble when your object balls are pressed into one side of the table. You can once again use this as a level 1 or level 2 approach, with the main difference in both of these last 2 drills, the railroad drill, which we just saw, and this drill here, clearing the aisle. The main difference in level 2 is you will take the object balls and you will have them directly on the rails. In level 1, you're 1 to 2 inches off the rail, and at level 2, you're specifically on the rail. In this case, you've also set up the 1 ball and the 2 ball are the farthest apart in each of the furthest diamonds of the table, and then alternating the 3 ball, which would be in the center, and the 4 ball, which would be in the center of the other side long rail. And you're taking out each of these balls in rotation order. Now working the 5, holding that position down, and then finishing with the 6. This drill will definitely keep you out of trouble when you have your balls pressed to the rails. Next, we will move on to begin our Pong series. This is where we can certainly have a great deal of fun. You can work the Pong series drills alone, or you can have a friend who works with you, and you can make a little competition out of it. In this particular case, you're going to place an object ball in front of each of the side pockets, close to the pocket. You place the cue ball in the center of the table to start. You shoot the first ball, you draw it back, keep it in some position for the next ball. If you're playing alone, you will walk around the table. If you're playing with a friend, as I'm doing here in this case with Tim, you see that last shot, I decided to leave him stuck right in the side pocket, cause him to have to jack up the back of that stick and still keep his position. As you can see, I'm being a little friendly now. I'm trying to heal the relationship there by letting him come right back to the center of the table. We move next from that fun game of ping pong pockets into drill number 32, the side pocket pinch pong. This changes the pace quite a bit because we move both of the object balls into the first diamond line, and we must continue to maintain control of the cue ball in order to stay in line to continue making each ball into the side pocket. I tell you, when you're playing with a friend, this can be quite fun. You make it challenging. Play to a total of 10 points. The first person who you can choose whether they miss or they cause you to get out of line. As you can see here in this case, I squeeze Tim quite a bit and force him to challenge him. If he can't keep me in line, it will certainly cost him a point. We move on to the corner-to-corner Pong series. Now, in each of these, you can, again, have a partner, or you can begin to just concentrate on working alone. You place two object balls in front of the opposite corner pockets. Each is on the inside diamond positions. If you're looking for that, as you can see, each of the first diamonds from the side rail and the short rail, and just come square to the diamond position. And in this particular case, you're working back and forth, putting the cue ball in position. You may choose to come back 2 rails and back into position, as in that case. Or you may choose, very simply, to just take it up to 1 rail and come straight back down, as was Tim's choice there. That, again, you can do alone or working with a friend. Build a point system for how you'll choose to keep score. Next, we're doing the War Pong drill. This drill will perfect your center table cue ball position planning. Here we have a level 1 and level 2 option. In level 1, you're going to make the ball into pocket A and pocket D. In your Pro Skill drill book, that would illustrate to you that would be the pocket on the same side of the table. So that would be the top left-hand corner and the bottom left-hand corner. At level 2, which is the level that Tim is illustrating, in level 2, you're going to work to make the ball in the opposite corners. In your book, that's illustrated as table pocket A and pocket B. In the opposing corners, the drill is more complex. In the same side of the table, this drill will perfect your spot shot cue ball position planning. You again have level 1 and level 2 choices. In level 1, you can make the object ball in the corner pockets on the same side of the table as Tim is demonstrating here. In level 2, you can alternate your object balls into the opposite corner pockets. Remember, if you get out of position, if you miss, just reset it and continue. Just set a target goal of being able to make each ball 10 times. Next, we move down to the baseline Pong drills. Once again, this drill works to perfect your long table end-to-end cue ball position planning. We set the 2 object balls at each of the first diamond position in the center of the table. You have level 1 and level 2 choice. In level 1, you stay to the same side of the table. In level 2, you alternate corner pockets, which is the case here. Tim is showing us the demonstration is the choice of opposing pockets. You reset the ball after each strike. This helps develop your tempo, your pace of play. Causes you to walk around the table, not rushing and hurrying so quickly. You need to go and pick up the ball, put it back on the spot before you shoot your next ball. This will help in assisting you to slow down, develop a smooth rhythm of pacing yourself around the table. And as you can see here, you continue 10 times each. Moving next into the rail-to-rail Pong. Here you have a level 1, level 2 choice. You place the balls in level 1 or 2 right on the rail, and then you work in level 1 to be in the same side corner pockets. Level 2, you're working into the opposite pockets, and be aware that you can choose to make the opposing pockets the top right and the bottom left, and there does not have to be in any one particular choice. You want to make sure you keep that angle on the cue ball. Give yourself time to pace around the table. Don't rush. As we can see here, we're going to move back and forth, making each ball. Set up your goals 10 times each. Next, we move into a whole new area of drills. This is our banking series. We're banking up and down. This is the banking ups and downs. And of course, this drill is designed to perfect your long table banking for your mind, your eye, your feel. Starting from the first line down, set up the 1, 2, and 3 ball, or any 3 object balls of your choice. Set them up on diamond row number 1. And then work them moving up the table. The center ball, you have the choice of making to the left or to the right. You may actually choose to make it to both, and then move on to the 3rd object ball. Then move up to the next diamond line, and then the 3rd diamond line. Move to the 4th diamond row line. Continue the same series of 3 shots. To the left and the right choice for the center ball both would make it 4. When you've passed that side pocket shot, move it all the way up the rail. Take it all the way up to diamond 7. So you have a short distance to the rail and a long distance back to the pocket. Then, in this next series, we're doing our bank cross corner drill. You set up the 5 balls on the low diamond, make them all cross corner, move up an entire row, and continue to cross to the left, to the right. Choose to make the first ball in the opposite corner, and then the other last 4 will we'll go, whether it's to the left or the right, your choice. Move up to the 3rd row, the 4th row, move up to your 5th diamond row, and so on. As you see here, and by the time you move up to the 6th diamond row, you're going to be putting yourself in a position of cross corner banking, or as we practice in the next drill, number 40, the bank cross side drill. In this case here, we're going to work from the half diamond positions, working from what we'll call diamond position A, B, C, D, E, all the way to F, and then move it up each row as you move up to the 1st, to the 2nd, to the 3rd row in each position. Next, we move right on to the rail around the rack. The rail around the rack series is one that really demands great patience. You build and perfect your one rail short range position planning. In this case, line up 5 balls on each of the long rails. Place the empty rack on the table, right on the spot. Place 1 ball from each rail on the side of the rack. Then you place the balls at an angle so as to make a cut shot. Give yourself the ability to hit into the rail with the cue ball. You might put a little small chalk mark on the table to make it easy to remember to place a cue or the object balls right back into their same position. You're working around the rack. If you get out of position, if you miss, then you restart. And as you pace back and forth from each side, you replace the last ball that you made first with a new ball from the supply that you put on each side. You're looking to make each of the 5 balls that you've set up back and forth. You start with ball in hand from any spot, and from that point on, you leave the cue ball in position as you finish out so that you can work this rack all the way out, all the way around. Tim is in position here for the 9, putting the 10 up for his final. And once again, even hold that position for the last shot. So once again, you could continue right on if you had 15 balls. Our next drill, the altercation. This perfects your short to mid-range 1 rail return position play. Again, more setting up the 1 through 9 ball in opposite ends. As you can see, it's almost like a shoestring drill. You're going to play back and forth, the 1, the 2, then to the 3 and the 4 in order. For each ball, you specifically want to drive the cue ball down to the rail and back up in position for the next ball. Of course, you want to avoid hitting any of the other balls. You certainly avoid missing, and maintaining your position line is important. You want to be sure you are in position to go down to the rail and back up. Many times, as you know, you have to force the angle so that you can get into position for the next ball in play. As much as we like a perfectly straight in shot, it's rarely the best position to be in until you have finally reached the final ball, whether it be your 8-ball or your 9-ball, so you have a finishing final straighting shot. But in this case, getting that 8-ball onto the 9, we need the angle, coming up in position, and now we have a perfectly straight and finishing shot on the 9, just as it should be. Alternation, altercation. Behind the line is our next drill. This drill will perfect your speed control and drawing to a rail position planning. Now, when we say behind the line, we're talking specifically the point between the 2 center pockets. After each shot, you want to bring the cue ball back just over the line behind the side pockets. Again, the main point here in the speed control development is drawing to a rail and being able to bring that cue ball back a specific position length. We're using the center pocket as the line. If you look in your Pro Skill Drills book, you see that I've put a dark black line between the 2 center pockets. And this gives you a very clear visual as you bring it. Set up 8 balls because you won't get a good, accurate position to make anything closer than that without hitting into another ball. And then, as we see in this case here, finish out all the way through to the last ball. Take that 15 ball out. Bring the cue ball back. You've got to maintain position all the way through the drill. Work it. And then you're moving to the moving walls. That's moving right along. The moving walls is going to be a great exercise of developing inline position planning. Now, in this case, we set up 5 balls on each of the lowest diamond levels. We list the diamonds in your book, Pro Skill Drills, as A, B, and C on both sides of the long rails. And you'll move back and forth, and you'll be bringing the cue ball back to pick off 1 ball from each row, back and forth, and back and forth. As you can see in this case here as I'm setting up. Now, once you finish that row, leave the last ball as you're going back and forth. Leave the last ball in position before you make it. Reset up your next row. Move it forward to the next diamond line. So as you see, that wall is moving up. Make the final ball. Get the cue ball into position. Then set up the next wall. Up 1 diamond. I'm in your Pro Skill Drills book. I'm on diamond row B. I've set, now the walls have moved in a little bit closer. Here, you kind of get that Indiana Jones sort of feeling here. The walls are closing in, and before they've closed in, you need to continue to pick off the balls. As you can see, alternating from side to side. I'm taking the 12 ball down the rail, right back in position again, picking them off 1 by 1 from each side. Take the 9 ball. That row is finished, leaving the 4 ball. Set up the next row, then come back, make the final ball from that row. Get the cue ball inside in position, inside. Notice the walls are tightening up. That's why we call this drill the moving walls. Then get continuing in position, get in place so you can continue alternating. look at your shots very cautiously here. You can see the danger of the side pockets. Now as you wrestle for position, stay inside. It's not required that you use the rails to make position, but it is required that you stay inside the walls. You cannot go outside or down the rail and back up. You can't hit any other ball. You certainly should not miss, or you get right back in position. Now you're going to pick each ball off from the opposite side one by one. And as I'll work this last one here, and then we'll transition, leaving that final ball. You see the 9 ball is the final ball to be made from that. I reset up the wall back. Now the walls are moving back, the moving walls. They start from far, they move to the inside, and then when you have completed the inside, they move to the outside. After you've made that final ball from diamond row C, the walls move back to diamond row B. And again, you're alternating back and forth, back and forth. This is a great 50 ball run practice drill. Stay inside, back and forth. Control your position. Leave the final ball. Set up the row.
Final wall.
You set up your back down on row A. Finish making now the last ball, which is still on row B from the final wall that you're moving. Make that final ball. Cue is in position. Rebuild the back wall as I'm doing here for you. Then proceed with picking off the 2 far end walls again as you did the first time. Now you can continue working this drill as you want to perfect your ability to do this drill 5 times in a row without missing. If time allows, you want to make this drill 10 times in a row. So what I will do is let the walls move in completely and then have them move out. And that would be 1 successful set. Then, if I want to continue to do the drill again, as I make the final ball, just before I make the final ball in the last row, I could treat it the same way as I did the first time. There is the final ball. I would reset the row up to row B and go back and forth, work with the moving walls. Next, I'm going to continue with this concept of controlling my long distance. This next drill called the wave. And this drill perfects your complex inline position planning. This is a beauty, starting all the way at one far end, setting up 5 balls. Keep the cue ball behind the line as you're making each of the 5 balls. Again, this drill is called the wave, and you'll see what begins to happen here. The concept of a wave is the wave comes in and the wave goes out. And right now what we have here is we have a building up of a wave that is coming in. We finish that row, and next we put 6 balls up on row number 2. We pick off the 6, keep the cue ball in position, driving the wave forward into one direction only. You can make the ball in the corner pockets, and as it may be available to you while you are in row 1, 2, or 3, you can choose to put the ball into the side pocket as the 3 ball here will do, and continue and hold your position. Next, move the wave up and add another ball. Now you have 7 balls on row 3. This is your final opportunity to utilize your side pocket. Continue to force the wave to move forward. Now we will skip the row in the center of the table. We will jump the center line of the side pockets and move to row 4, where we now set up 8 object balls. We set up 8 balls in this case, and we are moving them all toward the corner pocket on the left or the right side. You do not want to hit another ball. You certainly don't want to miss. Then you move them up to row number 5, and here you have 9 balls. This is becoming more challenging, just like a wave builds and builds and builds as it's reaching toward the shore, and our row is building as well with 9 across. Moving finally to row 6. We set up 10. 10 fits comfortably across, gives you sufficient room. You're making these 10 balls into the 2 corner pockets. Now the fullness of the wave is come in, and you continue to proceed, taking this row out. Now, you know the most dangerous part of any wave is the part you really can't see at times. It's what we call the undertow. And that's exactly how difficult this is going to become, because now we set up 10 balls on row 6. We get underneath. We have a small little crawl space to work with, and we make all 10 balls utilizing the side and the corner pockets above. And in this position here, we move the cue ball, staying in position, taking out the row. So you can see, as we're beginning to do here, take out the entire row from behind it. Keep the cue ball in position in that small space available to you. When you have done that successfully, move the row forward. Take a ball out. Now you're back down to 9. Utilizing the side pockets as well as the corners. You can move comfortably, working your long inline position planning. The wave is a very taxing drill. Move the line forward. You're down to 8 balls. It's not necessary that you try and make them in succession order from left to right or right to left. It's not necessary to make them in succession order numerically. You can clear the line in any order that works for you. Again, skip the center row. Skip the center row. Move back into the position, row 3. Here again, we're using only 7 balls. And just as a wave has built itself up coming in, it has reduced itself significantly as it's going back. And as the case, you began with 5 balls on line 1, and you finish with the same 5 balls back on line 1, now from the opposite side. Only have 2 corner pockets to work in this time. Work your position and Finish the wave. 5 times in a row, up and down. Make each line successfully. Next we have the pace setter drills. Pace setter 1. Pace setter 1 gives you the distinct opportunity of developing your pace of play. This is exactly the type of thing that gets me in trouble often, and I've worked this out now, and I'm become quite comfortable with developing my pace of play. In fact, I can even begin to recognize when I get uncomfortable. Set up just a moderate cut shot into the corner. Bring the cue ball back near the rail. Walk around the table. Pick up the next ball out of the rack. Set it up once again into just a moderate cut shot into the corner. And slowly, methodically, pacing yourself, you're going to work through the rack. You're wanting to make all 15 balls. Put that into the corner. Now what we're doing here, just as the drill is called pace setter, we are working to develop our pace of play. Bring the cue ball back down into the rack area. Walk around the far side of the table. Come to the rack. Pick up as we would have made all. This is the final and 15th ball of the rack. Just put the 15th ball, moderate cut position. Take your time. Set your chalk. Remember, when you're at the table, you don't have to sit down. When you miss, you sit down. And the object of the pace setter drill is to keep you at the table. Now we've taken the pace setter drill, and as you can see here, just coming back 2 rails, coming back toward the opposite end of the table. Now we've taken pace setter 2, and what we've done in this case is just set up again, a moderate cut shot, not too hard, not too easy. Just set it up, and then take your time. Put the rack of balls down at the bottom of the table. We're not working here so much with the concern of the precision and proficiency of making the ball, although you know it's required. You must make the ball. But we're working with the pace of which we operate to run the rack. Make the moderate cut shot. Bring the cue ball back down to the rail, back down to the rack area. Walk around the far side of the table. You see there that I am moving at a reasonable pace. I'm not trying to hurry and rush. Although style is developed individually. It is not necessary that you move at my pace, not by any means, but move at a pace that is comfortable for you. If you like to hustle around the table, then you work the pace setter, developing a hustling pace. If you like to work at a much slower pace, then slower, or somewhere in between. But the point is, the pace setter is not designed to create your pace of play. It helps you discover your pace of play. Dare you to jump. This drill develops your basic jump shot and your long distance aiming ability. So often this will come up. You've got to jump. You don't have a choice. You don't have the ability to kick out. You've got to get over the top. So set a full rack of balls on the bottom rail near you. Put it near a corner. Leave the rack around and place the cue stick across the rails at the second diamond spot, just as you can see here on the table. It's shown that way in your Pro Skill Drills book. And place an object ball on the diamond spot. Elevate the butt of your cue about 45 degrees. You're going to need to feel this. You should know how to jump the ball with a firm stroke. Strike the cue ball. Jump over the stick into pocket A or pocket B. Level 2 of this drill allows you to alternate pocketing all 15 balls in pocket A or pocket B. And when you finish the full rack, then add a second stick, as you can see here in the illustration. Now you have a stick at diamond row 2 and diamond row 3. And you may put the butt ends down in the rail, leave the shaft portion hanging up over the rail. This will give you a little bit more elevation. Sometimes you're not jumping directly over the top of a ball, and sometimes you're a little bit about a 1 or 2 o'clock position of the ball to jump over. And once again, pocketing all of the balls. Level 1, just pocket all of them into one pocket, A or B. In level 2, alternate all 15 balls between pockets A and B. Work hard till you finish the full rack. Then we're going to start working on jump and squeeze shots. Now here you're not entirely jumping over a full ball, but you need to get between them. And you've scarcely got the distance of a ball, actually a little less than the distance of a ball. You can see how I set that up there. Just put all 3 balls next to each other and just pull the center ball out. And this is just the beginning. You've just got to jump between the two. Got a short jump and squeeze. Now what you can do here is in level 1, you are just stroking the entire rack of balls through. Level 2, you pull the balls much closer together. And in fact, you can actually have them almost touching. In the next drill, we're going to extend the distance of jumping, again, from 2 balls to 4 balls. As you can see in your Pro Skill Drills book, drill number 51, you're jumping over 1 set of balls and then over 2 sets of balls. And again, you can move these closer or further apart as you're building your skill level. We come to the bonus drills. The 2 bonus drills in Pro Skill Drills. The first, called the finisher. The finisher is designed to make you a run-out champion in 9-ball. Start with the 7, 8, and 9-ball. You just set them up at the spot. You break. If you make any ball, put it back up on the spot. Take the cue ball. You begin with ball in hand. And from this position here, you're going to run out the 7, the 8, and the 9-ball. And do that 10 times in a row without missing. 10 times in a row. Level 1, if you miss, you're just trying to run 10 successfully. At level 2, you want 10 in a row without missing. Then set up the 6, 7, 8, 9-ball break. If you make a ball, if you make the cue ball, it does not matter. Just spot the ball you make. You're starting with ball in hand. And continue your run. So work from the 6, move into the 7. If you're coming off of, the earlier balls in the rack, by the time you got to the 6 ball, you'd be right in position. So after the break, by setting up ball in hand, you're very simply putting yourself in a starting point that you would likely be in had you been running the balls up to that point. So that would be the reason for starting out with ball in hand. make the 9 in the corner. And then, after you've done this 10 times in a row, you come back and you set up the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Again, here you're very simply putting yourself in a position. Some people like to refer to this as being called playing the ghost. Supposedly, the ghost is the infamous perfect player that if you miss, you lose. When they come to the table, you don't have the ability to get back to the table again. So if you err, you automatically just restart as though you had lost. So you're going to take out this rack in the same fashion, breaking, make a ball, respot it, start with ball in hand, and running out from the 5 to the 9, 10 times in a row. And then from there you will reset and break, and this time your breaking is going to start from the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Pull back one rail to put the 9 in over again, or documenting your sessions. Maybe you would make up something that would have innings, like a bowling score sheet, which is 10 frames. And typically, as I can remember from my days of bowling, the score sheet had the ability to mark strikes and spares, and then your total score. In a bowling frame type of a format, you might be indicating it from the 7 ball, and then from the 6, and from the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2 to the 1, and then you would indicate the number of times that you played from that ball, and the number of times it took you to make 10 complete runouts. At level 1, let's say you're on the 6 ball and you're keeping score. You may have to write a 16. That would mean you had 16 racks in order to complete 10 times running out from the 6 ball. At that point, you can begin to see your scores becoming better and better. After a period of time, you go back and compare notes, and more consistently, by the time you get to the 6 ball, you're at 14. Then more consistently, you're at 9 and 10, and eventually you have a perfect 10 for 10. So you can develop that and do it in such a way so that by journaling your sessions, you can see confidently, build, and clearly articulate the progression of your success at coming to the table and running out and being a finisher. So get a journal and get started, level 1 or level 2, and work at it, and you will see the impact and the awesomeness of this great drill that will make you such a solid finisher. The tip kick system part 1, from behind a safety, direct to the first, second, or third diamond reach, using your Pro Skill Drills book, following in diagram part 1, from 1 diamond, 1 tip of English, straight ahead with 2 tips of English to the 2nd diamond, and with 3 tips of English to the 3rd diamond. And this will get you out of a safety crunch quite easily. You need to work on this with your own speed control, and looking at the Pro Skill Drills book, you will have greater instruction, more depth of information and following. Now further up the rail, let's work with Tim at the table.
Is on target diamond point number 4. So to hit that, I have three choices. I can hit diamond contact point number 1 with 3 tips of English. I can hit diamond contact point number 2 with 2 tips of English. Or I can hit diamond contact point 3 with 1 tip of English. They all equal to 4. Which is right here. I'm going to shoot at diamond contact point 1 with 3 tips of English. This is diamond contact point 2 with 2 tips of English. This is diamond contact point 3 with 1 tip of English. Now to hit target diamond point number 5, I'm going to hit diamond contact point 2 with 3 tips of English, or diamond contact point 3 with 2 tips of English, or diamond contact point 4 with 1 tip of English. Remember, this is 0. So this is 2 and 3. This is diamond contact point 3 with 2 tips of English. The 3 ball is on target diamond point 6. So in order to hit that, I have to do diamond contact point 3 with 3 tips of English, diamond contact 4 with 2 tips of English, or diamond contact 5 with 1 tip of English. This is diamond contact point 3 with 3 tips of English. Diamond contact 4 with 2 tips of English. Diamond contact 5 with 1 tip of English. The 4 ball is on target diamond point 7. In order to hit that, I have to hit diamond contact point 4 with 3 tips of English, or diamond contact point 5 with 2 tips of English. Here is 4 and 3. Here is diamond contact point 5 with 2 tips of English. This is target diamond point number 1. I'm going to hit diamond contact point 0 with the half a tip of English to hit target diamond point 1. Hit target diamond point 2, going to hit 0 diamond contact point with 1 tip of English. To hit target diamond point 3, gonna hit diamond contact point 0 with 1.5 tips of English. To hit target diamond point 4, gonna hit diamond contact point 0 with 2 tips of English. To hit target diamond point 5, going to hit diamond contact point 0 with 2.5 tips of English. To hit target diamond point 5, going to aim at diamond contact point 0 with 2.5 tips of English. To hit target diamond point 6, I'm going to aim at diamond contact point 0 with 3 tips of English.